Hi, Donovan. Are you ready to get started?
Yep.
All right. We'll start with Joe Varden, The Athletic.
Hey, Donovan. A couple things. First, Quinn mentioned that you weren't feeling great tonight. Said maybe a little nauseous and lightheaded. And then on top of that, the cameras caught a couple things. They caught you and D Wade talking during the third quarter. And then Quinn telling you about getting your mind right, and that'll overcome everything else. And so the question would be, what was the context of all that tonight, of what you were talking about with Dwayne, what Quinn was saying to you, and how you were feeling while you were scoring all those points?
Well, I was kind of hoping you didn't say it, but I was definitely, feeling it a little bit, but, sometimes you just got to dig deep into a different place. And, I was getting my ass kicked individually the first half on both ends of the floor, wasn't making the right reads. Luke hit a bunch of shots on me. Reggie hit a bunch of shots on me. And there were situations that I was just being lazy, and letting that fatigue kind of get to me. So I came at halftime. I was just like, look, I'm just going to have to find a way. And that was the biggest thing for me. And you hear that with what Coach said. I forgot I was mic'd up, so I didn't know that y'all caught that. But that's why I love Coach, man. And obviously the Coach of the Year stuff came out, and I always believe he's the Coach of the Year because at some point in time, you got to dig deep. We've been in a similar situation, Game 6 against OKC, where things were kind of sporadic in the first half, and then the third quarter, you got to go out there in the fourth quarter, you got to find a place, and that was pretty much it. And as far as Dwayne goes, I continuously ask him what he sees. I know what I see, but sometimes you have a different perspective, especially sitting on the floor like that, like being able to see what he sees in his mind. It's great to have your coaching staff, you have your players, and then you have a guy like a Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade to be like, what do you see? How can I be even more efficient? And, tonight it was a good night, but there was definitely some stuff that I missed, that I definitely could be better at. And I think for me, that's really where my head is at. At the end of the day, 45 is great, but could have easily had 8 or 9, even 10 assists. Could have had some rebounds, that I could have definitely changed the game too. So for me, that's really where a lot of it was at. But that's, I hope that answers your question.
Eric Walden, Salt Lake Tribune.
Don, so we were asking Bogey about your second half performance, and he said that he felt like you went into halftime, saw you guys are down 13, and just figured it was time for you to take the game over. Does it feel that easy sometimes when you're going through a scoring stretch like that, coming out scoring the first 10 of the third quarter?
I think the biggest thing is, the first half, kind of just figuring out, what they're going to do. You can watch as much film on how they play Dallas all you want, but, at the end of the day, they're going to guard us differently. So kind of go out there and feel in the game. And like I said, I was not I didn't do a lot of things right, for my team in the first half. And I really kind of ate at me, still does, put my team in a certain position. And I feel like that was on me, to come out there and just set the tone on both ends of the floor. I think that's really where my head was at, just going out there and just trying to find ways to be aggressive. Tonight it was getting to the rim and I hit a few threes, but, who knows what it's going to be next game. They're going to make adjustments. So are we. And at the end of the day, we could definitely all shoot a little bit better. We shot solid. What we shoot 34%, 40% from the field. We can definitely shoot better and make some more shots to not be down 13 in that half and also get some stops. But, for me, just kind of come out there and setting the tone, especially without Mike, where you can kind of get off the ball, understanding that, they got two guys who can really guard. So trying to make sure we continue to attack and keep them on their heels. That was really pretty much my mindset.
Tony Jones, The Athletic.
That being said, how important was that initial push from you guys in the second half, particularly from you when you came out, scored that 10 straight, just to get back into the game and say, okay, we could just start working from a smaller margin than we were working with for most of the first half?
I think it was crucial. I think they got it going and they made some shots and got into a rhythm to start the end of the second half. And for us, it was like the first 5 minutes. Let's just win that and kind of go from there. And, at the end of the day, I scored 10 straight, but we did a lot of good things as a whole, defensively, offensively, pushing the pace, getting stops, rebounding the ball, not letting them have extra possessions, and I think that was the biggest thing for us, continuing to be the aggressor. and understand that, we got to be able to just punch first. And it's not always going to be, easy to do it from the beginning of the game. It's not always going to be sunshines and rainbows, went throughout a playoff game. There's going to be stuff that we do wrong and stuff that we got to go ahead and correct, the mistakes we got to fix. And I think that was what you saw tonight from us as a whole, just going out there making winning plays. JC picking up full court, Bojan trying to go ahead and deny the outlet. Royce doing a hell of a job on those guys, Joe as well, and Rudy being Rudy. But winning the 50-50 balls, those are the little things that, set you over the top in the playoff game.
Tim McMahon, ESPN.com.
Donovan, Kawhi didn't guard you a lot today, but they did put him on you late. You still had success, especially getting Kennard in pick and rolls. When you have Kawhi on you, what, if anything, changes for you or for your mentality?
You got to be strong with the ball. That's really it. As far as attacking, everything kind of stays the same. But the playing around with he's there. And at the end of the day, he has the height advantage and the length. So even if I make a move, he's still there. So being able to manipulate things throughout the game, whether it's a screen or stuff like that. And like I said, there's things I definitely can be better at. I had a terrible turnover with 49 seconds left at half court, stupid pass, like stuff like that. Like for me, it's like, okay, how do I kind of manipulate the game? I did it against Memphis, and I got to be able to do it now. And I did an okay job of it. And I think that can be better. And I think I'm gonna probably see that matchup a lot more, and just understanding that, he's first team on defense for a reason. And I got to go out there and just have him step my end game and not just necessarily attack to score, but attack to create, and find guys as well.
Mark Medina, USA Today.
Hey, Donovan, considering the circumstances you're playing tonight, how would you compare this performance to some of your playoff performances last year in the bubble?
I mean, this was good, in my opinion, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of at a point, Mark, where I'm like, doesn't matter anymore. We're on the game too, but, definitely I'm just happy with how I was able to kind of control the pace. I think that's something I've really tried to make strides in throughout my career, and being efficient. When I say efficient, I don't mean just a shot chart. I mean, turnovers or being able to manipulate the game, being able to pick things and make the right reads. So for me, I was really happy with, my progress in that way. There's definitely, like I said, stuff I can do better, for sure. And I think, they're hopefully, continue to go out there and make the right reads. But as far as where do I put it as far as games, I don't really know. At the end of the day, I know that I got to do this 3 more times. And we got to win 3 more times. That's really where I'm at. It's great to get a game 1 win. And at the end of the day, we did what we're supposed to do. We won at home, and we got to do the same thing in game 2.
David Aldridge, The Athletic.
Hey, Don, I know, Donovan, you're locked into this series and trying to figure out how to beat the Clippers 4 times. I wonder if you are at all cognizant of the notion of the rest of these playoffs being very wide open, and that somebody is going to win a championship that either has never won one or hasn't won one in a very long time.
Yeah. It's I have social media, so I'm always on it. You know what I mean? So I see it. I'm not gonna lie. But I see the tweets. We all do. And I think the best thing about it is, that's what makes these games so competitive. The Clippers have never, correct me if I'm wrong, but have never won a championship. We've never won one.
That's right.
I don't know. Phoenix has never won one. You look at how competitive these games are. I think that's what makes this playoff so intense, so exciting, and I think that's what creates a great environment. I think that's what makes this game a lot of fun. And, I think for us, our mindset is, look, we got 1 game at a time. We got this one, we got to get the next one, and understanding that we can do something, special. We thought that right after the bubble that we can do something special as a group. We took care of business in the regular season. That's over with now. We took care of business in the first round. That's over with now. We took care of business tonight. That's over with now. And we got to go ahead and focus on game 2. But it's definitely out there. It's definitely something that we see, and we think we can, we have the team to do it. But we got to go out there and hone in on little details and not get complacent and satisfied where we're at, and be ready to hoop.
Ben Anderson, KSLSports.com.
Donovan, you got pretty big defensive plays from Boyan and Jordan and Joe, guys who aren't really celebrated for their defense during the regular season. What did you see from them and their effort, especially against Kawhi and Paul George?
There's a saying that's like by any means necessary, and I think that's what you saw from a lot of us tonight, and I think that's what's going to take to beat this team and get 4 wins against this team. We all got to do our part, whether it's, like I said, picking up full court, diving on loose balls, getting those long rebounds, not allowing them second chance points, getting into the paint, creating. And, when you have a guy like Mike out, it's a big loss. But for us, it's like, okay, how do we fix it? How do we manage it? And I think Jordan's approach coming out, doing what he does on the offensive end, but also being there on the defensive end, Bojan, being communicating. We all know what Rudy's going to do, but like you said, Joe coming out there doing what he does as well. And I think that's really where it is, and what's going to help us win these games is we got to do it by any means necessary, whether it's diving on the floor or whatever we got to do. We got to do it hard, and we got to do it with pace and execute. And if you make a mistake, make an aggressive one. Don't be kind of complacent and lax in your movements. And I think that's what you saw from us in the second half.
Cassidy Hubbard, ESPN.
Hey, Donovan, I hear you criticizing yourself and what many people would call a stellar performance. But I also want to look at, I've noticed before that you close your eyes and take deep breaths at the free throw line, but maybe it was just highlighted even more so with such a loud crowd tonight. How long has that been a part of your routine? And what would you say, why you do that before your free throws?
I've been doing it for a while, but I think everybody last year we had a conversation about that. People thought I just did it for TV. But I had a session with Kyle Korver, and it's a few years back. And, one of the things he talked to me was just about breathing, in certain situations. And, that was a situation for me. I don't really meditate much, but for me, it's like, just breathe. That's your time to rest. That's your time to focus. That's your time to kind of let go and kind of just go into a different element and focus on. For me, I put myself back to my workouts. That's really where that's what it is for me. And, that's kind of one of the strongest, I don't know what the word is, like a pose. I guess that's one of the strongest things you can do for your body is kind of close your eyes and breathe. And especially in high intensity situations, we don't do much of that as athletes. We don't go out there and take care of that mental part, especially live action during the game. So any chance I can, I do that, and especially at the free throw line, just giving myself time to breathe and rest and go ahead and execute the free throw, but also give myself a time to kind of cool down a little bit.
Did it feel a little different with how loud the crowd was tonight?
Yeah, it definitely did, but you got to put yourself into, that's why I put myself into moments where I've worked out, where it's like me in the gym. At the end of the day, that's what it is, me in the gym, and I'm shooting free throws, dead tired after a workout. And that's why you make as many as you make in a row for those moments. And that's really what it is, and for me, doesn't matter if there's 22, 60,000, doesn't matter how many people in the arena. At the end of the day, it's the same thing you are doing in the summer when you're working out. The only difference is you got people watching.
All right, we have time for one last quick one. It'll be from Nio Campbell, UtahJazz.com.
Hey, so Rudy had a huge block at the end of the game. So I want to know, what is it like for you to watch Rudy on a defensive sequence like the one at the end of the game?
You kind of have just like a sense that something good's going to happen. You don't know how or what, but once I saw the swing go to him, he thrives in those moments. He definitely hears the chatter that he can't guard outside the paint, so those are like moments that he lives for, and when he caught it, Morris caught it, I was like, okay, big boy's going to, have this moment, and I think that's what you saw tonight. And, you saw me just put my hands up because I'm like, thank God he blocked it because I took a terrible shot at the end of the game. But he's our backbone defensively, man. And you saw it on nights like tonight. He came out there and blocking shots, running the floor, doing his thing. And when you get the ISOs like that, you have the ultimate faith because he's the 2-time about to be 3-time defensive player of the year. So we all have the utmost faith in his defense and what he does. And moments like that, when he's doing it on the playoff stage, I'm happy for him. We're all happy because he's showing the world what he's capable of.
All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much, Donovan.